I am Lieutenant Dr. Harinarayanan G. I am here to talk to you a little bit about science in connection with the celebration of National Science Day. As we all know, on 28th of February, we celebrate National Science Day in India. This is in connection with the discovery of Raman effect by our great scientist C.V. Raman. Obviously, such a great discovery and its subsequent Nobel Prize was a great boost for Indian science. I'm giving this talk through a video, not in person. Why? This pandemic situation, right? The corona is the reason. Now, how to overcome this situation? Science came to our help and provided a few vaccines. Science, not anybody else. Science came to our help. Now, India, our country, has also a great role in developing these vaccines. Now, in this pandemic situation, we are in the front line of defense against coronavirus. India made vaccine against this COVID-19, and we worked with other countries or helped other countries to make vaccines. So using our science, we could make a great contribution to the human society. And that's a great achievement. Obviously, these vaccines are great scientific achievements and in a way shapes our society or helps our society to move on or to survive and move on. There are a few scientific discoveries, inventions, or scientific processes that helped or shaped our society. Some say controlling fire was one of the main achievement of human beings. As a matter of fact, our ancestors started to control fire much before Homo sapiens came into existence. Who controlled fire for the first time? Humans, meaning Homo sapiens? No, it was Homo erectus. It was Homo erectus who first controlled fire, or they learned to use fire in a controlled manner. Now, it's not a simple thing. They could use it for protection, they could use it for light, and they could use it for cooking. Now, cooking was a great achievement actually, because it gave abundance of nutrients to us. We can't get much of the nutrients from the uncooked food, but we can get almost 100% of the nutrients from the cooked food. That's a key point, because our brain needs a lot of energy, meaning a lot of nutrients. Now, consider the case of a gorilla in an African jungle. It is eating all the time while it is awake. It needs to go for, it needs to find food, it needs to eat, and then it needs to rest. Nevertheless, almost all the time it eats. But still, the nutrient it gets from this raw food is limited because it is not cooked. The body or the digestive system of gorilla is programmed for raw food, not for the cooked food. Even though it is eating all the time, it is getting limited amount of energy source. Now, with this limited amount of energy source, it cannot have a big brain. A much bigger brain, then it needs much more nutrients. So, whatever it eats, much of it will go as the food for brain. Let us assume that a gorilla develops a bigger brain. Just for fun, let's assume that. Okay, it will not happen because it has to be another species and everything is there. But let's assume that it develops a bigger brain. Now, a bigger brain requires more nutrients. So, gorilla can provide only this much nutrients. So, it cannot provide enough food material for, or burning material for or energy material for its brain and its activities. Okay, so either the brain will get shut down or its body function, other body functions has to suffer. In either way, this will not work for that animal. A bigger brain is a disadvantage for a gorilla because it's not using it's not using cooked food. Its body is programmed for uncooked or raw food materials. Okay, so a bigger brain is a negative for gorilla. But as our species, our ancestors came into existence and they used fire for cooking, now what happened? We can use cooked food. Now cooked food, we get almost 100% of nutrients from this cooked food. Now we have enough nutrients for a big brain. Now that sets the stage for a bigger brain or a brain evolution of a bigger brain. And now that sets the stage for evolution of Homo sapiens sapiens, us. So the simple act of cooking changed the path of evolution and led to us, Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay, now the cooking, as you know, fire, cooking started from fire, right? What is fire? Scientifically speaking, it is oxidation, right? Rapid oxidation. Oxygen is reacting with some fuel, some material, and the material is getting oxidized, and that, it's an exothermic process. Heat comes out of it. So that's basically oxidation. It's a chemical process. Now we call it as a part of chemistry or science, say. That is say. So we can say even before we became humans, or even before we became Homo sapiens sapiens, chemistry or science helped us to evolve, much bigger brain, helped us to evolve to Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay, so science has a role in our evolutionary history too. It changed the course of our history. Even before we came to existence, we as modern human beings or Homo sapiens sapiens came into existence, science helped us to become Homo sapiens. In a way, we can say that, okay, chemistry helped us. Now, because as I am a chemistry teacher, I would like to say that, okay, I prefer to say that chemistry helped us. But it's science, basically. The divisions came very much later. Divisions are just for our own convenience. So like we have divisions like chemistry, physics, biology, and everything. The divisions are made by us only to study it effectively, more effectively. So not just fire, a lot of other things helped us to lead a better life, lead a longer life, lead a much more happy life, let's say. I teach chemistry, and I would like to talk to you a little bit about organic chemistry. Not much bigger thing, just the development of organic chemistry. You already know the story. So before organic chemistry came into existence, or people called it as a different branch of chemistry, or organic chemistry as a different branch. People used to think that the materials in our body is created by a creator, and we can't create them. Okay, so anything body produces or in the body is divine. Nobody can create it. But in organic chemistry came into existence by uprooting this theory. By heating ammonium cyanate, scientist Frederick Waller made urea. Urea is well known. At that time, it is well known that urea is produced by our body. Like urea is in urine, right? So it's not just divine. We can also make it. These chemicals are not divine. We, the humans, can make it. So that was a great discovery in that way. So all these blind beliefs were uprooted by science. So abolishing these blind beliefs were a great achievement of science. Like Galileo, the story of Galileo. He put forward evidence for a heliocentric system. Now it's a common knowledge that Sun is the center of the solar system. But at that time, people used to think Earth is the center of the universe, per se. There were people who opposed this and put forward heliocentric theory before Galileo, but Galileo provided evidence for this and argued for this. And for this reason, Galileo was arrested by the Pope, and he was imprisoned for rest of his life. He was in house arrest. Now, that was a great story of sacrifice. And there was another scientist called Bruno. He was burned to death. And also earlier times there was this scientist called Hypatia, mathematician called Hypatia, a lady who was burned to death. And all these things happen to scientists throughout the history, because they followed a passion. They wanted to find out the truth, real truth, not just written in some books, but by scientific experiments or calculations and all those things through a scientific method. And they were punished for that. So science didn't have a great time all along our human history. Science has much respect now, science has, let's say, a much easier life now. It was not the case always. People sacrificed for it. People sacrificed to follow their passion, for their quest for real knowledge or real truth. But we benefited, like the later generations benefited by their passion for the truth, or their discoveries, their inventions. Okay, so we should be thankful to them for our own benefit and for our future generations' benefit. We should keep a scientific attitude about everything around us. We should be staying away from those blind beliefs, whether it is caste, religion, or whatever it is, or some superhumans, or whatever it is. Also, our constitution says that to develop a scientific temper. So have a scientific temper, be thankful to scientists or science in general, and remember the great sacrifices made by our predecessors for science, and stay away from blind beliefs. Thank you.